I'll recap in a minute. Let's just look at the financial statement to see how this looks like, okay? And I didn't fill out this financial statement. I'm just going to show it to you. Okay, so what's most important as I scroll through this is that is to think of the financial statements, even though it's a, you know, the way when you look at it, it's a little confusing, right? But whatever you're going to be excluding, first of all, remember that it has to be linked to valuation date. So there has to be an asset somewhere on valuation date that is going to include that money. So I'll do the car, right? So you received it 5 years ago and you bought a car. So it's 2023. So 2018, jalopy. Right, I'm spelling that right? Probably not. Okay. And the fair market value is $2,000, right?
Okay, yeah.
Okay. And so there's your $5,000 gift is in that $2,000 jalopy.
Right.
And it's so important because then you're going to go down past everything else. And this is why I said it doesn't apply to everybody and that's why it's at the back. Here's part 7 where it says excluded property.
Right.
And it says show by category the value of property owned on the valuation date that is excluded from the definition of net family property, such as gifts or inheritances received after marriage. Now, this is just a form. Personally, I think excluded property should be at least before date of marriage stuff, because this is about valuation date. So valuation date stuff is about here. I really think the form needs to be adjusted, but let's put that aside. So the category would be, let's call that gift from Aunt Martha. Okay. And you would say the following. I received $5,000 on January 1, 2018 for my birthday. Okay. And many people can't do this off the top, and that's okay because you don't have to, but the more you say, the better. You can say, I put this money into, whoops, Monet, into my TFSA, right? And then purchased my 2018 jalopy, right? Okay.
Okay.
Now that's already formulating your tracing. If you think about it, you received the money. It was during the marriage from a third party, right? And where did you put this money? You put it into the TFSA. So now you can find the bank statements. There might be that $2,000 existing in the TFSA, right? So we may have that issue, right? But let's say we don't have that issue. And then you purchase the jalopy, and here's the value on valuation date of the exclusion is $2,000. Okay? And so the total value of the exclusion is $2,000.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
The key, though, is that it exists up above in the property at valuation date.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Because many people don't. Many people just say, well, I received an inheritance in 2010, $10,000. I'm excluding $10,000.
Yes.
And that won't fly. And if you get anything out of this video, is that people go to trials over this, and then they show up to trial, and the judge is like, well, where's the asset? And you're like, what? But I got it from, I got this $10,000 10 years ago, right? And so it's very unfortunate people rely on that line item.
Yeah.
And very technically, not on the court version of the form, but on the lawyer's version of the family financial statement. This is math. So recall that Jill had 10 on date of evaluation date and then excluded 4 from the 10, right?
Yeah.
If you don't have that 10, and you just put 6 basically, and you minus 4, well, that's a different outcome,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So you need the 4 to exclude the 4.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, and so that'll take us actually to our agenda here. That the takeaways are, it's yours to prove. Okay, very important. You
Mm,
want this exclusion. Jill very much wants and needs this exclusion,
right.
but Jill needs to prove it.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
and the court is going to look to Jill and say, or the law is going to look, even if they're not in court, and say, Jill, this is on you. This is your show. Don't blame the other side. Just you give your story. Okay. Many people do blame that they don't have the bank statements on the other side, but that's a whole other question. But this is your story to tell. And if you don't tell it right, you don't get the exclusion. We're going to start with the 10, and if you can knock out those 4, then good for you. But if you can't, then you don't then you're just going to share the 10 because you have the 10. Okay, so that's takeaway number 1.
Okay.
Takeaway number 2, it's got to be linked to an existing asset on the date of separation or on valuation date. Okay, don't just put in that $10,000 from 10 years ago. It's not, you're going to create false math, and
Oh,
more importantly, you can't support it. So you're going to lose the exclusion. Okay, and then
okay. Got it. I
lastly,
understand.
tracing can be tricky, but try to do it. Do the work because it's in your interest to do
Of
it.
course.
Okay,
Yeah.
and just realize, I know I didn't put this as number D, but really, at the end of the day, there is this exception to the exclusion, which is the matrimonial home,
Yes.
and I can't help you on it. It just, that's the way it is. Okay, and that's the law of exclusions in a
That's
nutshell.
a, thank you so much, Shmuel. That is actually, it did make a lot of more things clearer. Yeah, because I also misunderstood. I thought that if I receive $10,000 as a gift after the date of marriage, all I do is just put it in the exclusion box. No, it has to be linked to an asset, you're saying.
Right.
Good gracious. Okay. Okay. You know what? This was amazing as usual. I invite you back to talk about our second topic, which would be the significance of the date of marriage, I think. Okay. So I'm definitely looking forward. So, viewers, please do stay tuned for our video coming up. And thank you so much. Thanks everyone for watching. I will see you the next time. Bye.